I was a kid, guys, I would smile a lot in the past. Like, I'm talking smile to the point where even just a casual version, a casual thing, you would smile the time you're just walking around just smiling. And that was during my kid ages. So, you got the single digits, you have the early tens, and just terms of ages in general. So when I say early tens, I'm referring to double digits, right? But now I'm 19 years old, I don't smile as much anymore. Now, on paper, the first thing you may assume is that, it's inherently a bad thing. Well, as a man, and I'm only speaking from my own personal experience, I think it's perfectly normal to not, feel the need or just smile as much in general as much as you used to in the past. The way I see it is you're a kid, you had your fun, playtime is over now. Now, that isn't to say when you get to your teenage years and primarily adult years that things are going to get extremely boring, dull. I would most definitely say it gets a lot more serious in terms of life naturally gets harder, as it does and as it should be for everyone else. However, in terms of smiling simply for the sake of smiling, I personally think it, gives off a weak image. Now, I'm not telling you to be extremely heartless and cold to the point where you just look like a brutal monster. None of that. You can still smile, but make it subtle. Subtle. That's what I like to do. So I'll be walking outside. I'll be going like, notice how my eyes are still, they're still like prey eyes, I believe. No, predator eyes. So there is this concept of predator and prey. The predator mentality has it's like someone who's in the pursuit. He wants to obtain, he wants to seek what they want. The prey mentality is someone who's more so on the fearful side. They're more submissive, they're more inferior. Now, a great analogy to put the prey aspect, so the weaker animal, you could compare that to a rabbit. And then with the predator aspect, you can link that with the bear. Now, to see this in someone's eyes, because what I'm telling you guys, it has a direct correlation with the way you look in terms of smiling. You want to look threatening, not threatening in a way that intimidates anyone, but just gives off a masculine presence. And that's how I view things in terms of, just not me smiling anymore. And yeah, I don't see it as a bad thing. I notice when I just see even my casual face, I'm also like this now. Can you see my eyes are down? They're not wide up, similar to what a rabbit would be. It's more so like a lion. You're assertive. You're dominant. You're content in yourself. You're ready for anything that comes. Not to say that you would inflict violence and you would even recommend violence. However, if push came to shove, you would have the recipes needed to do what needs to be done to defend yourself and the people around you. And yeah, I just truly believe, the older you get, naturally life is going to get harder. More responsibilities will pass on. And I think that plays a big factor into why I don't feel the need to smile anymore. Now, I do smile a lot. As you can see, I have smile marks on my face. But when I'm talking about me not smiling anymore, I simply just mean smiling for the sake of smiling. It's almost like that child innocence where you don't really know much, but you're just exploring everything, that kind of stuff. But me, I don't really feel the need to smile anymore. I just need to be assertive. I'm still a good person, still approachable, still good to talk to, still a good person. I'm not negative, I'm not rude or anything like that. I just don't feel the need to excessively smile like this. I used to do that all the time when I used to go to around just high school in general. I just smile so wide for no reason. And no offense, when you see those kind of people, and yes, it is great to, have a really great smile on your face. Many studies, they've proven just simply having a great smile, it will radiate to other people. People can gravitate towards your energy, and you're still approachable. So that's always a good thing. I think for a woman, smiling, just having a big smile is a really great thing. But if you want to be a masculine man, some form of substance, you want to look somewhat serious. It gives off a level of respect. You don't want to, like I'm saying before, I'm not telling you that you can't smile, but you don't want to make it over exaggerated. Like it's kind of forceful to the point where you start to come across as a creep. Like, imagine everyone walking outside like this. No, you can keep it subtle. Sub. That's a tongue twister. That word. I need to get better at pronouncing it. But just keep it simple. It could be a little. See someone, you go like, see there's a cat over there. I look at the cat. Just go like, just subtle, man. Short stuff, and this is perfectly normal. And the thing is, Now, I guess you could say, in terms of advice to become more, I guess, come across as more serious. But when I say serious, I'm not saying you're a negative person, but just someone that people would take more seriously. Because I've been that guy who's been belittled and constantly looked down upon, and it all came down to how I carried myself in public, and the face played a massive factor. And I'd mainly say the eyebrows also play a big factor because back during those days, my eyebrows would tend to be really raised up, and it would give off the impression that you're an easy target. And the way I've been treated in the past, especially in a high school sense, and I guess you could even say a few years going into college, that served as the testament because of what, the beatings and constant physical bullying and abuse from other people in my year, and it wasn't a nice experience. And it's one thing to tell you, when starting out to become able to do this, you kind of have to forcefully just put on a less of a serious act. But I think it's more so better, and what I told you earlier just now, that does work because you're training your brain to subconsciously just look more like a man, and that's really the goal. What we're doing here, not smiling as much, it makes you more of a man in terms of just public settings. Like just have a almost like a poker face, You don't need to exhibit too much emotion. You don't need to exhibit too much happiness, sadness. You're a mystery, man. If you wanna know how you're feeling, just get to know them. Speak to them. Someone speaks to you, you can have a laugh or two. You can have a laugh, but don't overdo it. That's just me. That's how I operate. There are rare occasions if I'm really close with my people, then I'll let out a big laugh. But overall, just overall casual settings, I like to keep it to a minimum. That's how I like to go about things. About things. Now, linking back to what I was talking about earlier with forcing the smile, that does work. But what I found to be more effective, the more stressful your life becomes, the more responsibility you take on, the more hardship that you willingly put yourself through, naturally you're going to be smiling less. And this can happen in both sides of the spectrum in terms of whether you take your life seriously or not. Either way, the older you get, you're going to experience a lot more hardship, and I see this all the time. So I'd see many people just walk around the streets to say you have a busy job, you're in a shit career, 9 to 5 job period in your life. And I fully understand that you just want to get out of there, but yet you're doing your hustle. Either way, you're going to experience stress, and most of us people who are in the pursuit to becoming successful, we're probably going to experience those two paths. And either way, it's probably going to take a smile off your face. But it's how you control it. There are two types of people. There's the person with the shit body posture who still does that smile, but you're conveying a message of weakness. It's still a prey type mentality. You're like an easy target. You're not, showing to the world that you're a dominant figure. But then you can also be that person who's experiencing stress in their life, like me, for example. But you can also still carry yourself with pride. You can still walk with posture. You can still walk with pride. Take yourself seriously. Now, you can still be a good person. You can still smile and whatnot. Keep it subtle. But it's more so the message that you convey to the world. And just talking for myself, I don't feel the need to smile as much, and I don't see an issue with that. On paper, it may seem, oh, you're cold, you're heartless. I don't think so, because I've never really had an issue. I can smile when I can, and I do smile quite a lot. But it's more so knowing when to smile, not just smiling for the sake of smiling, because I believe you do get treated like a clown. People don't take you as serious as much, so you need to give off a dominating aura, just of masculinity. And if I were to really say anything to you guys, respect yourself. Take your life seriously. Naturally, your face is going to subconsciously just be you're going to have most of a masculine face when you're going about things in public, whatever social setting that may be. So when you take yourself seriously, you're going to subconsciously just have a more serious masculine look, And then you don't need to do the thing where the technique where you need to manually, forcefully tell yourself what to do. Because the way your life is structured, the way you carry yourself, the way you put your mental brain, your state of self, the way you treat yourself, the respect you get for yourself, and naturally that comes with stress. Now, stress doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's how you perceive stress. Taking all of that into account, it's only natural you're gonna have a more serious masculine face, and you won't need to smile too much. That's all I have to say. And I really hope I managed. I hope you let me know what you thought in the comments. I'm out.